Hi, how are you, Dave? Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up in your world?
So I am recently married, just a few months, and we are talking a lot about our finances. I paid off my student debt a little while ago, and now we have his to work on. And it's $300,000.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Is he a doctor or a lawyer?
He's a doctor.
Okay. So what is your household income now?
Well, it's about $230,000.
Good. So you're gonna live on nothing and pay that off real fast, right?
Well, yes, but he's finishing residency, so my income is $150 and his is about like $70 as a resident. So we're looking at job opportunities in two different areas, and they offer one pays about $500,000 more.
One job is $500,000 more?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's in an unideal location, which we would not stay in long term. So we're just wondering if it's worth it to take, a job that pays that much more just to get out of debt quicker and kind of postpone.
Okay, so job number one pays what and job number two pays what?
About $850 versus $350.
Okay, and you make $150. Would you make $150 at either one of those locations?
Maybe a little less, maybe $100, let's say.
Okay, so that's kind of either place you'd make about $100. So you'd leave New York City.
Yes.
In either case, and so what is the less than ideal location that's $500,000 more? That's
it's kind of in the Tundra. It's up north near Canada.
In Canada?
No, near Canada. It's
okay,
still in
but it's
the
in
US.
the United States.
Yeah, so he's a surgeon. So once he completes training, they offer some of these jobs in underserved areas.
Yeah.
For a lot more money.
Yeah, I never heard of $500,000 more, but I knew underserved would overpay. I knew that, but are they asking for a length of time commitment?
Yeah, they asked for 3 years.
Okay, and you would be willing to do the 3 years?
I'm not sure. So I want to know your thoughts.
Well, you already live in New York City. It's not like you live in the South. I mean, you're used to cold weather.
Yeah, but it's just kind of a whole lot of nothingness.
Okay, all right. So there's just not So you're moving to a very rural,
middle of nowhere,
a very rural location versus New York City. So that's a big culture shock. I got you.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I don't know. You got to ask yourself that question. You're going to be making $450,000 in a worst case scenario, right?
Exactly.
And so, my God, I mean, if you can't pay off $300,000 in the first year, somebody ought to smack both of you. If you can't live on
have a lot of stuff.
If you can't live on $150,000, somebody ought to smack you. Really? Don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we haven't bought a house yet. We haven't.
I know you don't need to buy a house. You have $300,000 in student loan debt you need to clean up. So, I mean, if you go make $450,000, I think you're going to work this out. You could be debt-free in 1 year, and the next year you buy a house, and the next year, you do some other stuff. I mean, just have a little bit of patience with that kind of shovel. You ought to be able to move anything you want to around. The other way, you come out $1.5 million ahead, $500,000 times 3 for 3 years. But you're in the Tundra. You could buy a whole lot of airline tickets out of the Tundra and come visit, go visit New York City every weekend and come out ahead.
Yeah, because we're a little older, so we were worried about, not having any retirement savings, not having anything yet.
You'll be okay. So, you're going to be making $500,000 a year. As long as you don't go spending and do stupid doctor tricks with the money and, go another $400,000 in debt to do something else. But if you guys will just stay debt-free, you're going to have tons of money to invest. You're going to be fine. You start banking $200,000 a year. You know how quick you have $1 million? It's like 4 years. You're okay. You're going to be all right. You know, as long as you don't keep, jack your lifestyle way up. So the only thing I would take the $450,000 cheaper job if you're committed to getting out of debt in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, you need to go do the other one.
I think we could do it in 1 year, maybe two.
I think you can do it in one. I really do. I mean, or not plus or minus taxes. Taxes might push you into two. But I don't want you to jack your lifestyle up or start doing a bunch of other stuff till you get this debt cleaned up. No, job one's get the debt gone before you do anything else. Don't talk to me about buying a house, buying a car. Don't buy anything. You're broke and in debt. Mm-hmm. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Clean that mess up, and then you're free to live the rest of your life and do whatever you want. Now, the only thing that, if Sharon and I were looking at this, my wife and I were looking at this situation, we would consider the Tundra opportunity, but we would put in there a couple $100,000 or $100,000 out of that $500 in travel, and we would just bug out of there virtually every weekend.
Yeah. Well, as a surgeon, that's not as easy, I guess. He's going to have a lot of call and everything.
But he's not on 7 days a week.
No.
Okay. So, I mean, just jump on the plane and go. I mean, even if you charter a plane out of there, you can go, you can have a life is my point, and you don't have to define your life as like you're living on the moon and you can't come home.
Yeah.
You can jump on a plane and be anywhere in some period of hours, and just, enjoy some downtime, head down to the Caribbean, head down to Cabo for the weekend. I don't care. Mm-hmm. You can do a lot of that kind of stuff on $500,000 and still come out ahead if you wanted to play that. That's how we would play it. Because I'm like you.
Put away a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty relaxed nowadays, but if I were your age and I was concerned about, New York type of activities, then that's a way to do it, is to budget it and still say, okay, we're going to spend $50,000 on travel a year or $75,000 on travel a year. And that's our way of dealing with the fact that we're in the Tundra and we're making all this extra money for at least 3 years. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted to do that, that's a way to make it palatable. I'm not sure I would. I think if you're making $450, you ought to be okay. And you'll probably make not $450 for all 3 years. You'll probably make $450 the first year. Your income will probably go up. His income will probably go up the second year. So you're probably back up over $500,000 easy between the two of you then. So, but kiddo, whatever you do, get rid of this debt before you do anything else. Do not go buy a house until this debt's gone. Do not go buy a car until this debt's gone. You hear me loud and clear on that. I'm going to call you stupid if you do. Straight to your face. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Well, on every one of my social media feeds for the last 5 days or 4 days since this article hit, people have been exploding. Their brains are frying out of their heads over this article in the Wall Street Journal. Mike Maru has $1 million in student loans. How did this happen? Mike Maru, a 37-year-old orthodontist, made a big investment in his education, and as of Thursday, he owed $1,060,945 in student loans. Mr. Maru pays only $1,589 a month, not enough to even cover the interest, so his debt, 7 years at the University of Southern California, grows by $130 a day. In 2 decades, his loan balance will be $2 million. He and his wife, Melissa, have become numb to the burden, focused instead on raising their 2 daughters. If you thought about it every single day, Ms. Maru said, you'd have a mental breakdown. Due to escalating tuition and easy credit, the U.S. now has 101 people who owe at least $1 million in federal student loan debt. 5 years ago, it was 14 people. While the typical student borrower owes $17,000, that's not true, it's 37, the number of those who owe at least $100,000 has risen to 2.5 million.